Marathon is the story of the most important battle in the history of the Greek Empire, which saved Athens from falling into the hands of the Persians during the Greco-Persian Wars that broke out in the 5th century BC. A decisive battle took place at Marathon in the northeast of Athens, when the Persians wanted to complete the invasion of Europe and overthrow the Greek capital, Athens. That battle was the first Persian invasion of Greece, and one of the most important battles in the history of Western civilization. The armies of Athens succeeded in stopping the advance of the rule of Darius I, whose armies expanded into the mainland of Europe and subjugated Ionia, Thrace, and Macedonia at the beginning of the 5th century BC. The Achaemenid Persian Empire was the world's greatest power at the time, and its borders expanded. This empire extended over vast areas in Asia, Africa, and Europe, including Central Asia, parts of the Caucasus, India, the Balkans, Egypt, Sudan, Libya, and areas on the coast of Greece and Macedonia, before it attempted to annex Athens to its lands and overthrow Greek civilization. The Greek dreams of Darius, when the Persians wanted to overthrow the Greek civilization, caused the vastness of the Greek city of Miletus, one of the cities in which the Persians established one of their centers of power on the borders of the Greek lands, and put Aristagoras as its ruler. The city of Miletus was a small and unimportant city, and very far from the center of the Persian emperor's rule, but the ambition its ruler, Aristagoras, was more than just a ruler of a distant province, and had no real role. He wanted to exploit the rebellion of one of the Greek cities against Persian rule in order to expand his influence and authority. Putting the entire Greek civilization in danger after its elimination became the goal of the Persian emperor Darius, the decisive Battle of Marathon in preserving Greek civilization. In 491 BC, Darius sent envoys to the remaining Greek cities to inform them of the necessity of submitting to Persian rule, while the Greeks sent a decisive response by executing Darius's envoys and declaring war as the only way to confront the Persians and the Greeks. Athens and Sparta pledged to form an alliance to defend Greece. Darius responded to this diplomatic outrage by launching a naval force of approximately 600 ships and 25,000 men to attack the Greek islands of Scythia and Euboea, putting the Persian armies just one step away from the rest of Greece. In 490 BC, the Persian forces set out on their mission. To invade Athens, the overall command of the Persian army was in the hands of General Datis, and his second-in-command was Artaphernes, Darius's nephew, who led the cavalry. The total strength of the Persian army is unclear, but the actual number who fought was between 2,025 and 2,500 men, most of them archers. With 2,000 cavalry, when news of the Persian invasion reached Athens, an emergency meeting was held. The Greeks were in shock as they were forced to choose their course of attack. Either leave Athens to fight a superior army, which is to choose a line, or wait for the arrival of the Persians to Athens, which was also not a good option, as the city's defenses were weak, and sheltering and protecting all the inhabitants of Attica, the area surrounding Athens, was also impossible in light of the difficult choices in which Athens was placed. Miletus suggested that Athens should implement the mutual defense agreement with Sparta accordingly, and in the hope of mobilizing an army. Before the Persians could reach Athens and destroy their city, Miletus sent many runners to Sparta and Plataea to ask for help. On the other hand, Plataea was the most helpful of the allies, sending an army of 1,000 Greek soldiers to help the Athenians, and General Miletus took them with gratitude under his command. His wing, after about 5 days of his first arrival at Marathon, the Greek army decided to attack, and despite the numerical superiority of the Persians, Miletus Iades showed his military genius and military acumen in his battle plans to confront the larger invading force. As the commander of the Athenian army, Miletus Iades weakened the center. His army strengthened the flanks in the hope that the heavily armed infantry would hold the center, while his flanks would penetrate the lightly armored cavalry. Melides ordered his army to begin the attack on the Persians at dawn to achieve surprise. The Greek forces began to advance at a tremendous speed, which allowed her to avoid the Persian arrows, and this is what led to securing the victory of the Greeks in the Battle of Marathon. The battle was the reason for the beginning of the marathon race. After the end of the Battle of Marathon, the Persians set out on a ship to attack the unguarded city of Athens, but the Greeks ran to Athens before the Persians could reach it. When the Persians arrived and saw Melidas and his brutal Athenian tactical army waiting for them, they changed their minds and quickly began to withdraw to the Asian lands. Legend has it that once the Athenians defeated the Persians at the Battle of Marath, the Greek runner Diopedes returned to Athens to claim victory over the Persians at the Battle of Marathon before he fell dead while delivering his message. Although historians have since disputed this story, many agree that Phidippides may have been one of the first true marathon runners. Despite this defeat, Darius was still fully determined to punish Athena for her role in the rebellion. In the Greek part of the Persian Empire, and on his execution of his Persian ambassadors, he also believed that the impunity of Athens, after the Battle of Marathon, might encourage other cities to do the same. So Darius began to form a new huge army, with which he wanted to subjugate all of Greece. But in the year 466 BC, the Egyptians revolted against the Persians and launched a serious rebellion,